So you gonna introduce yourself. You see my interviews before. It's just laid back, chill. We having a conversation. I throw some questions out there. You give me some answers.
All right, all right. I may be able to do that. Depending on the question, man.
See, you starting already, and we have not even
I'm not
started.
gonna start. Yeah, I'm getting the finger pointed at me right now, so I better straighten up a little bit.
Thank you, sis. Thank you. All right. So introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you are and what you do, and anything else you want them to know before we get started.
Shit. Okay. I'm B. Lewis, the narrator. That's what I go by on these social media streets, anyway. I narrate audiobooks of urban fiction and nonfiction, all genres, from romance to street lit, um, paranormal, suspense thrillers type stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of all over the place, but that's what I do, and I've been loving it. Y'all been great, so I appreciate you having me on tonight. Before we get into anything, hey, I gotta represent y'all. I do have to represent. I
I,
support like narrators and my brace shit. So
I like
just to let
that.
you know, y'all get out there. If y'all ain't signed up, y'all go ahead and sign up for Bray, man. And all the readers, hey, enjoy the shit.
I love that.
So
All
I
right.
gotta do my part too. I gotta do my part too. She kicked me out of the other type stuff, so I can't do no hands-on stuff no more. So
I wonder why. I wonder
last,
why.
oh, you heard the story, huh?
Nah, no, I'm putting two and two together, and it's equaling four. So that's all.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all.
I got a little too handsy last year, and I messed some stuff up. So that's why we had that whole glitch. It was a glitch last year, and it was probably my fault. But anyway, hey,
Hmm.
it's done. It's over with. I'm still representing Bray. I just got to
Okay.
do it, my own way.
So, what made you get into narrating?
Oh my goodness,
Would you
that's a,
thought I wasn't gonna come out swinging? Come on now.
that's a bit of a story. It's not something I wanted to do. I never even thought about it, honestly. Um, AA was putting out one of her books called The Last Letter. Um, and she was big into like they looked like little movie trailers, but for books. And she said, "Oh well, I need your help with this." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." I had some video editing software and stuff from our podcast we had at the time, and that's where I thought she was going with it. Um, but she ended up saying, "Nah, I need you to say some shit," and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Nah, I can't do all that." I did it, of course. I ended up doing it. I didn't want to do it, but I did it, and it was over. And a couple of days later, one of our author friends, Jay Asman, shout out to Jay, she ended up calling, and her and AA just kicking it for a second, and then she got into why she really called. She was like, "Hey, was that D's voice in that trailer?" And she was like, "Yeah, girl, that was him. He ain't even want to do
That sounds just like.
it." And no, Jay ended up saying, "Hey, I got this book I wanted to turn into an audiobook for the longest time, but I could never find the right voice." And she said when she heard the trailer that she knew that was the voice she wanted.
Mm.
And I'm listening to this shit. I'm like, "If she bad now." And so she asked, "Do you think Dia want to do it?" And I'm listening because she on speaker, and I'm like, "Oh hell no, D don't want to do it. Are you crazy? This ain't what you want. Like you don't know what you asking me to do. You heard all of like 10 seconds or something, and you think that I'm about to read this whole book of yours? Nah, I ain't doing that." Um, but they made me do it. I'm gonna shorten it up a little bit. There's some shit in between there, but to shorten it up, they ended up strong arming me. They punked me. I did it.
Not they punked. Well, I'm glad they did. I'm
They
glad
did,
they did.
man. Um, so I got into it. Of course, I had to do a lot of research because I knew absolutely nothing about this. Like a lot of your most popular narrators have an acting background, so they're
Mm.
classically trained. So I really didn't know nothing. Like I'm starting from ground zero, so I'm kind of researching it. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get into it. We agree to terms. All right, here we go. And I get into it in about the third chapter. I'm like, okay, this ain't too bad. I mean, I'm getting a little comfortable. But like chapter 7, I was like, yo, this shit is kind of dope. I think I might like it. Um, so I finished the book, and they was like, oh, we love it. It's so great. Blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, y'all just saying that shit because y'all had to. Like, y'all my people, especially AA. She my wife. Like, yo, if you, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem. But they ended up liking it, and so I was like, yo, I kind of liked it. I really enjoyed it. And they like, well, maybe you should try to get into it. Like, and I was like, you know what? Just to shut her up, kind of. I was like, bet.
Not too much, my guy. Not too much. Not too much.
And so I auditioned for some stuff on ACX, and I actually got them. And shit, I mean, the rest was history after that. So I just kind of kept doing
So now that you're in here and you're in narration, what is the goal? What is the goal for you in regards to your narration, and how do you plan on incorporating that in your plan?
it. The goal is to go wherever I want to go,
Mm,
wherever I feel I want to go. There's a lot of different lanes to this voice acting thing. So it's not just narration.
mm-hmm.
You got stuff like commercials. You got animation.
Mm-hmm.
I might fuck around and be the next Dateline nigga, right? Like, who knows? Like, all that's voice acting.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can take this really anywhere your heart
Mm,
desires it to go. And right now, I'm just wide open to exploring every option possible. So I'm not just saying I'm gonna stay in narration,
yeah,
for the rest
yeah.
of my career. But if I do, that's cool too. But there's a lot of different things that I'd like to get into, I believe. So I
So
think
you
this
don't
is,
want to limit yourself.
yeah, never do. I've never limited myself in anything I've ever done.
Mm,
Like I took, you know, going from a street nigga to being in corporate America, managing
mm,
stuff. Like, you can't limit yourself to anything. Like, if you jump into something, anything you do, there's always different avenues you can take to
yeah.
be able to progress and get where you think you want to go. You know what I
Now,
mean?
let me ask you though. You said that you came from being a street nigga to being in corporate, right? So when you are doing like your urban fiction, your street lit, how much of that can like really put yourself into, and then
All of that shit.
let
All
me
of it.
finish the question.
You ain't even got to finish it. All of it. Actually, the funny thing about that is when I actually first was getting into it and started auditioning and stuff, that was where I went when I
Mm-hmm.
saw that shit was out there, because I didn't even know that was really out there like that. Because I
Mm-hmm.
ain't a book nigga like that, right? I
Yeah.
wasn't, so I didn't really know what was out there. I didn't know the different. I didn't know it was as big as it is. First off, and I didn't know it was as serious as it is.
Mm-hmm.
But when I first started auditioning and I'm looking through the books, um, that's where I gravitated to, was the street lit first. So like,
Mm-hmm.
that's where I felt most comfortable, because that nigga, I know I can play him. You know what I mean? I knew I could do a good job at that. So I felt comfortable auditioning for those jobs. Um, and then I just started to branch out, because, like I said, that's a lot of lifetimes ago when I was really that cat. So,
So
um,
do you see yourself being a Poindexter ass nigga in one of these books, like a straight laced Poindexter,
yeah,
as he don't cuss, he just a Poindexter ass nigga. Do
yeah,
you see?
yeah, definitely. I've been that character. I've been one
Mm,
of the characters like that. Like, um, but again, like, so because I didn't have a traditional background in acting, or
mhm,
arts, I've kind of been forced to use all of my life experience
mm,
to bring the different characters that I portray to life.
mhm,
And of course, A does have a background in that, so she helped me a lot along the way, and she still does. But like I say, I've been so as a kid and a young adult, I was in the streets. I took that. I became a blue collar nigga. Then I became
mhm.
a white collar nigga into a corporate nigga. So it's like I've had all these different experiences in life, and I've met all these different people, and I really didn't make much of it.
Mhm.
I was doing it. Like it was just, I'm just doing some shit.
Do
But
you think because you have that type of or that energy that you could go into acting and go into, I don't know, some like Power, some like, uh The Shy, some shit like that. Shit, The Wire, old school shit. You know what I'm saying? Is that like a goal as well?
yeah, it's always been in the back of my mind. It's always been something that's been there. Even before I even started this, you watch shit and you get
Mm-hmm.
to it, someone be like, yeah, I could fuck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like there's always been things like that in the back of my mind. So I would kill some shit like that. I'd have to be an old school type nigga though, because
Yeah, you look like you'll be
you
an
shit.
OG. You'll be OG.
Telling me I look old and shit. What the fuck you telling me?
Nigga, I'm an OG. What the fuck? And I don't look old?
I just wanted to get that squared up, my G. That's all. I don't
What
want no.
the
I don't want no smoke, man. I'm just saying.
hell? Bruh.
Cheers to that. Cheers to that. But yeah, but like I say, I'm always open
Yeah.
to. I'm never gonna limit myself in one direction or another. You know what I mean? So yeah, if I got approached on some shit like that, yeah, I'd
Mm-hmm.
definitely consider it, and I'd probably go for it. I'd at least try out, see how it is. See
So
what happens.
what's your take on being black in narration? Because narration has always been for people of non-melanated variety. You know
You
what
got
I'm saying?
questions? I
Before
love
y'all
it.
came around, huh?
You got some tough questions, and I love it. My take on it is it's long overdue. It's well.
Mm.
I'm ecstatic that it's getting the traction that it's getting right now
Mm-hmm.
because we are always underrepresented in all forms of life, especially in this country, right?
Mm-hmm.
It always have been. So we've kind of always had to make our own way and make our own noise and do our own thing to
Mm-hmm.
be seen. And the irony about that is we drive all this shit. You know what I'm saying? So like we drive it all from the entertainment to everything. Like you can't sell shit on TV without having
Mm-hmm.
some type of undertone of blackness with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at the commercials you see all the time. Every other commercial's got some type of hip hop undertone or some type of black undertone to it and vibe. Like that's what the
Mm-hmm.
fuck we bring to the table, but we're always underrepresented when it comes to certain industries. And it's always been like that. And I'm glad that there's people like you out here and a lot of others who are kind of trying to lift up our culture in respects to the book industry and highlight us because we're doing some dope shit out here. There's a lot of us out here. There's some super dope ass people out here for sure. Um,
Facts.
and I'm,
I
and I'm happy it's getting some traction because I mean it's not very popular still. I don't think with us audiobooks, but it's getting there. I think it's a lot further than it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Go for sure. But I think we got a ways to go. But I think the more we're highlighted and the more that people actually know we are here, a
Mm.
lot of it is people don't know we here.
I honestly think that it's because traditionally publishing went from putting so much into print books to now putting more into their audiobooks. So they see the competition in indie. And so now they put their money in where it's profitable for them. And for right now, not saying that the literary books are not profitable, that's a thing. But on some real shit, traditionally published can't fuck with an indie literary anything on some real shit. If I'm being one, I'm keeping this stat. And then as far as audiobooks, it's like they see the traction. So they're trying to put more money into it.
Yeah,
So it overshadow everything.
just like everything else that's happened, right? Look at all the money that's in music right now, as far as rap.
Mm.
Like that in the '80s, right? Like we grew
Oh,
up
they
when
couldn't
this shit was
stand
just
rap.
starting, right? That's our generation that created this shit, right? And that
Yes.
shit was a fad. It was never gonna last, and it grew to be the number one genre of music right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's all you hear on any station. You're gonna hear some of it. So it's like, yeah, they're even doing this shit in country. Like, so
Yeah.
that's the power that we have as a culture, as people.
Mm.
That's our creativity, and that's the power that we have and that we've always had. And I'm just glad right now that we're putting it into ourselves and not relying on somebody else
Mm.
put it into us. We can do this
So,
on our own.
what do you think about black men coming into narration that's never done narration, but they see you, they see Miles Washington, they'll see because I don't know a lot of them, Wesley and all that stuff, Lawrence, they see all of that, and they're just like, no, I don't even want to do it because I don't want my homies looking at me like I'm some type that like that's some square shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody hear my voice like that, and I'm doing all this moaning and shit in the damn. You know what I'm saying? What would you say to those brothers who may have the potential or who can get mentored by other black narrators? Because I've seen so many brothers on here doing these I guess voice acting things and getting money from females and stuff like that. No offense to any women out here, but it's true. Getting money from females by
Who
voice
did that
act
at?
all through TikTok.
For real? What side
I'm
of
dead
TikTok is that?
ass. I'm dead ass.
What side of
They
TikTok is that? Because I need to get over there.
no, you don't.
I'm just playing.
No, you don't. But no, they're getting money. You have Zeno, who is now finna be working on Product of the Street, but he started out over there. You know what I'm saying? As a voice actor. And now he's going into narration. And so what do you say to the brothers that see this but don't want to do it because they feel like they thinking about what the next nigga gonna say? What do you say to them?
That's a deeper question than just on that surface.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna address it both ways. I think
Okay.
I'm gonna address it both ways. First off, um, we as a culture, we're talking about black people, so I'm gonna speak to us black folks.
Mm-hmm.
We need to start recognizing our own individual power.
Mm-hmm.
What we need to stop doing is looking for outside validation on things that we want to do. Right? We live our whole lives like that because that's the way we're programmed. You know what I'm saying? We from a child, all we hear is you have to do this and you have to do that and these things in order to be successful, right?
Mm-hmm.
You hear that from your parents, you hear that from the schools, and from society, you hear you got to do all these different things. But from your friends, you hear, oh, we got to keep it real. We got to do this. We got to do that. You know what? Fuck all that. All that's nonsense. It's dumb. It don't make no sense. Be yourself. If something's gonna make you happy and you want to do it, do that shit. And if somebody can't rock with you because of that, they not meant for you. They not meant to be in your life. It's that
Mm-hmm.
simple. For somebody who's scared to hear their voice, um, and for others to hear their voice, I would encourage them to try it out. Don't limit yourself. Be open to that experience because I got news for you. Nobody likes their voice when they first hear it
No.
in recording. There's a lot of people who've been doing this for years that still don't like their voice. I don't particularly care for mine that much, right?
Mm.
And when I first started, it was really, really hard, especially
Mm.
going through the post production process, because you got to hear yourself and you're over and over and over again because you're cleaning stuff up. You're trying to put things together. There's all these different steps. So, like by the time I'm done with an audio project, I've probably read this book 3 times and listened to it 4 to 5 times. That's
Mm.
just the process, my process anyway. So
Yeah.
um, it doesn't matter what somebody close to you is going to say because they're not going to be your biggest supporters anyway.
Yeah.
I got news for you; they're just not. Like your family and close friends, you might have 1 or 2 maybe that's going to really ride with you and support you and be like, all right, dog, that's dope, that's great. But majority of your support is going to come from people outside of your circle,
Mm.
right? So just recognize that. Like if you feel you have the talent, if you've been doing this shit and you
Mm-hmm.
getting paid, you getting recognition for it, what's stopping you from getting or from being even more successful with it?
Facts.
Apparently, you want to do it because you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So do the shit on the bigger scale. That's your power, dog. Like, stop letting people stop you from being you.
Do you think that us as a people, since we're talking about Black people, us as a people, do you think even in the and we're going to keep it in the literary world, do you think we stifle ourselves because we put limits onto what we can and cannot do?
Absolutely. How could you not? Like, if you limit yourself, right? If you don't do something because of what you feel or think somebody else might say or
Mm-hmm.
react, you're absolutely limiting yourself. There's no two ways about that. It's about allowing ourselves as a people, as a culture, to give ourselves a space
Mm-hmm.
to express ourselves the way we want to, right? And we don't do that enough. We don't do that anywhere in our culture enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that limits the entire culture as a whole. There's so much creativity. There's so much power within our culture. And we just throw it away most of the time because we limit ourselves.
Do you think, as a narrator, do you think that there is a line you will not cross when it comes to street lit and urban fiction that you just cannot cross, even being an OG yourself, being that you were in the streets, being that you have probably seen a lot of shit, but there's
No,
still a line you still will not cross in these books?
no, no, because I understand, like, if you're in that life, like,
Hmm.
we're talking street lit,
Yeah.
if you've been a part of that life, you know that there are so many different things that go on. You see a
Mm.
lot, you hear a lot. Like, there's things that most people would feel and think are unimaginable, but somebody's imagining because it's been done, and now be writing about it. And if that's somebody's expression,
Mm.
I'm cool with that. Um, I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there. So it's not. I don't think there's a line as far as no, no. It's artistic expression, man. Um, I'm rocking with the shit. Period.
Now you've done a lot of work in a short period of time.
I have,
And you
and
have
I'm
even
grateful for that. I'm so grateful for that.
you've done Dear Vicky. You did Dear Vicky with Octavia Grant.
Love that.
Um,
That's one of my favorites.
you did Your Wives in the Gray. Is it called Out of the Gray, in the Gray, into the Light, in
Dark side of light.
Dark Side of Light? You did
Yep.
that one,
Yep.
and now you're on Moe's.
I finished up Mo's. Yeah, that's
Even
complete.
though I don't like that nigga, but
One still ain't enough. Yeah. And those
you
are all three different genres. Those are all three different genres.
exactly. That's what I was getting, because Mo is romance suspense. Mo is romance suspense. Octavia Grant is horror and psychological and thriller. And your wife is contemporary urban fiction and street lit.
And that particular book, Dark Side of Light, is actually LGBTQ.
It definitely is. It definitely is. Had me
Stepped out of
crying.
her normal
Let me
vein
let
to
me
do
tell you
that.
something. Your audio had my ass crying because I was
No
because
way.
it.
No
I'm
way.
dead ass.
Stop
I'm
playing
dead
with me.
ass. I damn near cried at her interview when I was doing the interview talking about it.
Stop it.
I'm not playing. But don't think I'm listening to audiobooks all the time, because I fucking don't. I
I've
don't.
heard you say that several times.
I
So
don't.
I feel honored that you wanted to listen to mine. So that's, hey, I'm good with it.
But how is it working those genres the way you are working them? Because, like I said, you're hopping from one extreme to the next. How is it working those genres and maintaining those characters without overexerting yourself? I guess because that's a lot of mental shit,
Tough.
especially to Vicky.
It's tough. It can be tough. Um, but I approached, those were three different books that I approached three different ways. I think for me, what my process is, one, I know I'm going to jump into something different. So I'm trying to clear my palette of everything that's
Mm-hmm.
already done. And a lot of it is in the prep that I try to do when I take on these types of projects. Now, the Dark Side of Light was not a project I was supposed to do at all. I was not supposed to do this project.
That's a deep.
People don't know that.
That's a deep ass project.
People don't know that I was not supposed to do that project. AA didn't want me to do that
For
project.
real?
I didn't want to do that project. I never read the book until I started narrating this book. So here's the story. Here's the story behind this. Um, One day she's cooking in the kitchen and characters just popping in her head. Like that's how
Mm-hmm.
she operates. And she says, "Hey, I got a great idea for a book. I think I'm gonna do it." And she told me what the gist of it was, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's mad different." Okay, well,
Mm-hmm.
thing, man. So she writes the book, and most books I'm kind of involved in on some level. Like either she's
Mm-hmm.
bouncing ideas off me, she wants me to read something to see if it sounds okay. You know, I've done proofreading and shit like that on a lot of her projects, but this one, you know, up until this point, I've done something on every project for her. But with this one, I didn't do anything on it, and the project was a success after she wrote it. She got a lot of positive reviews, and she's telling me these positive reviews, even with the men. Like, you know, there's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of husbands that have commented like, "Hey, I wasn't down with this, but I read it with my wife, and you know, hashtag Team Tony, we all the way." And I was like,
Fact.
"Okay, well, shit, that's cool. You know, whatever." I still ain't read the shit. Like, I just felt it wasn't my thing, man. It just wasn't my thing, right? Um, so she went. She said she want to put it in audio.
Mm.
I said, "Oh, okay." Now I've done her projects up to this point, right? And I'm like, "Shit, all right." So she's like, "No, I don't want you to do it. I'm gonna find somebody else." I was like, "Okay, cool. Say less, my nigga." Like, right? And, she didn't think I could do it. I didn't
Mm.
think I could do it just because of the subject matter, right? It just
Yeah.
wasn't me. I had not had any experience in that particular piece of that genre, right? I just never have. So I felt I couldn't do it, and she felt I couldn't. She couldn't find a narrator, and she's getting so frustrated. She's, you know, on the verge of tears and stuff like that. And um, I don't like to see my baby like that. I'm like, yo, damn it, I'm gonna see what I can do with this. And so I took it down to the studio, and I did the prologue, and I went through the editing. I made a finished audio, and I brought it up to her, and I said, "Hey, take a listen to this, and let me know what you think." So I played it, and as it's playing, you know, she started bawling, she started crying and shit, like ugly crying. And I was like, "Yo, nigga, all you had to say was you ain't like it. Like you ain't, you know, just tell me I missed the mark. You ain't had to do all this shit. Like I feel real bad now." And she was like, "No, I love it. This is Tony." And so I'm like, "Cool, okay, yeah." But then it hit me like, "Ooh, how the fuck am I gonna carry this character for an entire book?" And so it took a lot to do it, but I did it. And that wasn't the only character. I didn't even know about Pooch at that point in time. Because again, I hadn't read the book. So to carry those two, but that ended up being my favorite, one of my most favorite projects.
But you
Um,
did.
because it stretched me so much, not only professionally as a narrator,
Yeah.
personally as well. Like
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the story, and
It was
I
some deep topics in that story.
thought
It
it
was
was
a.
so well done.
It was such. Mm, it was some deep ass topics, and so I'm not gonna cry no more because I think I'm all fucking cried out, and my fucking bitch
Don't
card
cry.
had enough.
Just take a drink instead. Don't cry on me.
I should have had something stronger. I should have got some fucking bourbon instead of this damn wine. Um, but the book was very well written because after I listened to the narration and
I
then
don't know why I'm like this, Mo. I don't know.
then I got the book. Yeah, your wife did her thing, you did your thing. Y'all are an amazing team together. I ain't even gonna hold you.
And for us not wanting each other to do this project, they ended up winning awards and shit, man, and being nominated for a bunch of different stuff. So
Are
I
you
love this
surprised?
project. Huh? I
Are you
was. Yeah, honestly. Yeah. I'm always surprised. Always.
surprised? Well, I
Um,
tell you what, y'all need all the acolytes and everything else because that book was good as fuck.
I
Yeah,
think it's still slept on. I think it's still slept on to this day. I think a
it is.
lot of people slept on it because of the cover. They really didn't know what it was about.
Yeah,
Um,
because people are cover whores and
and
they
if you
like.
ever get a chance, anybody out there, just pick the book up. Um, real quick story about that book. I was asked to go on to the Griots podcast because of that book.
Mm,
They wanted to interview me. I had a relationship with Sean P already,
mm.
and I can't even remember how that started. But he read Eminem Chronicles. He listened to the Eminem Chronicles, and so they got together. They wanted to interview me, and Kofi said, "Okay, I'm gonna listen to some of his stuff. What should I listen to?" Now Sean asked him. He told him the Eminem Chronicles because he knows Kofi. His boy's like, that ain't your steez. This man picks up the Dark Side of Light and starts listening to the Dark Side of Light. And this was probably one of the best compliments I've ever gotten about my narration is that it's a topic that he is not interested in the least. But he said he could not stop listening to the story because of my narration. And I drew him in, and it was that captivating to him that he had to finish the story, and he ended up really liking the story. And I was
That's
like, oh shit,
that's
that's
big
dope.
facts.
Yeah, yeah.
That's big facts because, like I said, I don't. Anybody know me, like really seriously know me, I don't fucking read. I don't do audiobooks because I fall asleep on them. It's nothing against y'all voices or nothing. It's just my ass go. I'm out.
I've learned to
But
take that as a compliment, by the way. I
oh, you
have.
said
That's not the first time hearing it. My sister says that about my voice. It says, "Yo, your voice is just so smooth and mellow."
soothing. It's soothing, and I just
And she's like, "It's not a that is a big compliment because a lot of people really do listen to audiobooks to go to sleep. There are narrators out there that get asked on their lives to read shit like anything like the back of a fucking lotion bottle to put people to sleep. Seriously, that shit is real. So when I learned that, I take it as a compliment. I think we're doing our job. It's not that it's boring.
but I didn't fall asleep on yours. I actually listened to the whole thing all the way through, and I was just like,
You wouldn't fall asleep on a lot of mines because for one particular reason, I try to make my shit a production. I want to make it an
mm,
experience. I just don't want to read from the page, right? You know what I mean? There
yeah,
are roles that require that. Like I just did a nonfiction book. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
And that's completely different from a fiction book, right? But when I'm doing fiction, I try to make it. My goal is to make it an experience. I want you to feel like you are in this story, and that you can visually see everything that's going on. That's why I have different character voices.
Mm.
And that's why I put sound effects and shit like that into the audio. That's why I put a lot of time and effort into the post production because I want it to be the best quality of listening that I can personally produce. And I won't give it to the author unless I feel it is. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So I mean, there's authors in here that I've worked with, of course, and so I think they can vouch for my level of professionalism and my quality, and that's what I want to do, and that's why Mo's book is one of my favorites because it's so dynamic. There's so many characters, and one still ain't enough,
Oh
and
my
they all
god,
have different
yes.
voices, even the females, and big shout out to Eden Sharp. If y'all don't know who Eden Sharp is, please go follow her. She is a super dope female narrator. and she knocked it out the park, man. She is so dynamic, and her range is phenomenal. And she was my co-narrator on that project. And I think together it is just so much going on in there. Because I think it was an amazing project, honestly.
One Ain't Enough is one of those books as a romance, suspense, thriller type book. It's one of those books that you know damn well should be a movie, a web series, or something because
Right.
it's so many ins and outs and surprises and shocks and who did what. The side characters are major characters as well. So you doing that. Now I know how I feel about Troy. I can't stand the nigga. I think he a bitch ass nigga. I'm gonna keep saying that. But Troy is a complicated character dealing with this situation. How did you prepare yourself mentally to go in there and be Troy?
It ain't taking no preparation for Troy.
Goddamn.
I ain't even gonna lie to you. Troy came so natural. The minute, though, we get introduced to Troy in the first chapter, right? At like the second half of the first chapter, and I knew exactly what I was doing with Troy. The minute he hit the scene, I knew exactly where I was going with him.
Lord.
That's my guy. I fucks with Troy.
What?
I fucks with Troy, man. Troy is hilarious, man. Like if you listen to this book, like you've read it, like you read the book, so you know the character. Listen to it. Listen to the book now. You know the book. Listen to it now. Right? I'm not saying you're gonna change your mind on Troy. I'm telling you this shit is gonna be hilarious. Because that's what I do. Right? I'm gonna give you an experience with every single character. That's what I'm gonna give you. So his voice don't sound nothing like Derek. It don't sound nothing like Aaron. It don't sound nothing like any of the other male characters in there. It is very distinct, and it was designed to almost irritate your ass, but be funny as hell at the same
He
time.
already irritates the fuck out of him. Makes my fucking spinal cord want to jump out.
That's why Troy's voice ended up the way it did. I knew exactly what it was. Yep. I said, okay, everybody think this dude he's the fuck nigga of the book, and everybody
He is a fuck nigga.
I'm gonna give him this voice. This is my fuck nigga voice.
I'm scared to even fucking ask because can we hear Troy's voice?
Can we hear Troy's voice?
Yeah.
Man, goddamn, nigga.
Look, you came on here. You should have known. AA should have warned you about me.
I just gave you the voice. So
I
you
hear
fucking my girl.
I just don't like him. I don't.
Troy ain't made for you to like. Troy is not the character made for you to love, and that's why I love him. I'm always fuck with the underdog. Now Troy be on some fuck shit. Don't get me wrong. Troy, listen. Troy is a different type of cat, but we all know Troys. Don't act like we don't. We do.
Yeah, I used to beat their ass.
There's Troys all over the fucking place, yo. So
Ugh.
it is what it is, and that's why I love doing what I do, because I get to do that. I get to bring this nigga to life to make everybody hate this nigga.
Ugh.
Or love him. Whichever way you gonna go.
Y'all delusional asses love him. I don't. But go off. But I appreciate you because you do sound like the motherfucker I thought in my head.
You know why I fuck with Troy for real? I fuck with Troy because Troy's always Troy. You're not getting nothing else but Troy. You know this nigga. You know what he about. He gonna get it to you every single time. He probably the realest nigga in the book. Honestly.
Hold on.
No, for real. He the realest nigga in there because you know what you're getting with him. You know this. You know what you're getting with Troy.
I get that.
There's no two ways about it.
I think the realest nigga in the book is Mia. That's the realest nigga in the book.
Mia?
That's the realest nigga in the book.
Irritating. No, she's not. Listen.
Yes, she is. Because she was standing toe to toe with this nigga.
I'm not going back and forth with you on this. Listen, they got a toxic relationship. They was meant for each other. I ain't going back and forth.
Desi is the toxic relationship. Desi is the problem.
Desi's the hoe.
She definitely is a hoe.
Yeah, she toxic. Everybody's toxic in this book except Bree. Bree's the only real nigga. Everybody else is toxic.
I'm gonna stick by Derek, and I'm gonna stick beside him. I'm just gonna stick by Derek, and I'm gonna stick beside him. And before you call him a simp, I rather
like Derek simping ass. This nigga's.
But he a simp that was on his shit though.
I don't give a fuck what this nigga accomplished. I don't give a fuck about his money. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Y'all give a fuck about any of that. I care about how this nigga was dealing with his relationships.
And that Troy was dealing with his relationships, right?
Troy was dealing with his relationships the way Troy deals with them. He was being
Troy was a fucking fuck nigga.
I'm done going back and forth with you.
See, that's some bullshit.
Next book, nigga. Yo, I would love to have a listening party with this book, and you gotta be a part of that.
Lord Jesus.
Tell Mo to make it happen. I don't know how to do it because I ain't that savvy with the social shit. We should have a listening party for this book.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so then let's move on. So then there's Dear Vicky, which is something completely different altogether.
Yeah. Too. So how do you get yourself into that character? He is a very complicated man.
Very.
With a lot of issues that we didn't even know in the beginning until they started to pour out. So how do you go in there and get your mind braced for playing him? Because I can tell you, I don't even look at bad boys anymore. And if they look funny, I'd be ready to fucking kick their ass.
Not the bad, but don't get a bad boys a bad rap, man.
Yes.
Trying to do what they do. For Dear Vicky, it's not that complicated for me. You know what I mean? Like, I read the audition for it. Right? It wasn't a traditional audition. I just kind of, she put it out there and I responded and we kind of linked up. And, you know, the rest is history. She liked the audition. But in reading that book, what I decided I wanted to do was, again, I want to do a production. So I wanted to play on what to me was two different personalities, right? So for most of the narration, you hear the psychological piece of Andrew. But then there's pieces where you hear the real Andrew. So I wanted to make those two distinctly different people. And I knew that because of the premise of the book, it had to be dark. Andrew's his psychological person had to be dark. We all have that, right? Like everybody's said some shit in their mind and was like, damn, right? We all do it. So unfortunately, some people, you know, kind of carry that to a point where they can't really control it. So I wanted to capture that in the essence of Andrew, that he's psychologically fucked up. But when you hear him speak, he's still a 20-year-old. You know what I mean? He's just a 20-year-old kid. And so I have fun with that role because of that, because I decided to do that. So when you hear Andrew speak for most of the book in the narration, it's this dark type of, who the fuck is she talking to type of deal. You know what I mean? But then when you hear him, like, Mom, leave me alone. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to play with that contrast in that. And I think I really captured it. I thought it turned out really dope. She was super happy with it. And I think that book
cold though. That's cold.
Really, really well. But that's how I try to approach it. Like I really, like my goal is to get into that character's mind. What is this character thinking? How is this character gonna act? Right? And the only thing I have is my voice. So to some extent, I think, you know, traditional acting, it's different, but I think sometimes it can be easier, maybe. Not that I've done it, but you have other tools at your disposal. You've got your gesturing. You know what I mean? You got facial expressions. You got posturing. You know, how do as a narrator, how do you convey he slumped in his chair? You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm acting, I can slump in my chair. You know, if I'm narrating, you know, I got to do something like, and he slumped in his chair, to try to get you to visualize and feel and become a part of what this character is actually going through. And so that's how I kind of approach every project, regardless of what the character is. I need to get into the mindset of who is this person and what do I think they're doing? How do I think they feel?
Damn.
And I use that. And I use that when I'm narrating to try to bring this guy to life, or this, you know, whoever to life.
She said, I think D's a little crazy.
Listen. She know me the best out of anybody in this world. She know me. Hell yeah, I'm crazy. Yeah, I'm crazy.
I think we all a little crazy.
But we all are.
You know,
think about it.
Whether you diagnosed or not, we all are. You know.
But I'm a what is crazy, right?
It's a construct.
That really.
It's a construct and a delusion of society and its whole process of saying people are normal. No one's normal.
So what's normal, right? Like,
these are all things made by people who want to make words to sound good.
Exactly. People aren't what they are. And I think, you know, I've just had enough life experience with different people, like all different types of people.
Right.
My own. But even all different type of people within my own culture that, you know, I can do a pretty good job, I think, of capturing the essence of what's trying to be conveyed in the minds of these authors when they're writing these words out. Because they do an excellent job a lot of times of what they're doing. And it makes it hard sometimes as a narrator, because you want to get it right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So sometimes they don't even know what they want. Because you get an author that's never did an audiobook. You know, they don't, so they really don't know the process. They don't know what they want necessarily. They may not know how this guy sounds, or they may have an idea how this guy sounds. But you may feel, I think I want him to sound like this. I'm gonna give her that and see what she say. You know what I mean? And they may end up loving it. They're like, well, I think I might want them to sound a little bit different. And, you know, you kind of work with that. And it's this back and forth kind of symphony play that happens, you know, to bring all these projects to life.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you a few more questions before we get out of here. But what do you do to take care of your voice? How do you maintain your tool, your voice? How do you maintain your throat and your voice? And what advice can you give to a narrator so far that you've been in here, how to maintain their voice with whatever method?
Well, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm going to be real with you. I got bad habits. So there are some things that you shouldn't do if you're using your voice as a tool, right? Some of the things you should do is tea with honey. I use that a lot. That does help, you know, to try to keep your voice. It's kind of coated. Water, stay hydrated. Everybody's mouth is nasty. I've learned this. Everybody's got yuck mouth.
Yeah.
And the more you can stay hydrated, the easier it is, you know, especially for when the producers go, you know, in post-production and stuff like that. Those are two big ones. And just rest. You have to rest a lot. If you feel something coming on, just rest. Take a break. It's okay. You don't have to get it all done at once. there's a lot of different exercises you can do with your mouth. You know, just it sounds like little kid shit. Child's play. You might think you're back in kindergarten doing different stuff, but this is on stuff you can look up, um, which is a lot of what I did to, and that really helps when you start doing these mouth exercises and stuff to get different voices to come out as well. So if you're looking to expand your repertoire and characters,
Mm-hmm.
that's a good way to start. Let's look up mouth exercises and start doing those. So and just play around with it. Go in a
Yeah.
book and play around sometime. You'd be surprised what comes out.
So my final question is, do you think that you will ever do some paranormal?
Some paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
I'd do some paranormal. I really would.
Because I saw a few
Uh,
paranormal authors coming here, and that's why I'm asking.
There actually, let me rephrase that. I have a paranormal coming out soon, actually, and it's not a secret, so I can't say it because this author has actually already put it out there, and I was surprised that they put it out there. So, um, Sick, Love and Kisses by Kenya Moss Dime. Um, there are 3 stories that I have produced for her. Don't look at why you looking like that.
Because I'm
So
looking at my bookcase and I'm like,
I actually just we just submitted the final story of. We had 3 of them that we're gonna do. So she's gonna do it in sections. So we took 3 of them: Unfuck Me, um, Labor Pains, and The Iceman Coming. So we did those 3. So it's not just me. So listen to this. It's not just me. I
uh,
have one of my partners in crime, of course, Eden Sharp, did a story,
uh.
and we were able to bring uh, A. Lewis out of retirement.
I know you fucking lying.
I'm not lying. So it's the 3 of us um, doing these 3 stories of Sick, Loves and Kisses by Kenya Moss Dime. So this is actually my first paranormal, um, which I had so much fun doing it, especially with the sound effects and shit like that. So this shit is dope. It's really dope, and I know the people, her fans, are gonna enjoy it.
When
Um,
can we expect this to come out?
that I don't know. Like I say, I just submitted the final story, finished story. So I know we'll be meeting pretty soon to talk about it. We'll make any revisions and changes that need to be made. But I hope it can come out pretty soon. I hope
Damn.
I hope in the next few weeks it can come out. So it's at this point it's finished, and we'll wait to hear back from Kenya to see how
That's
she's.
dope as shit. Yo, that is dope as
I
shit.
told you I'm all over the fucking place, man. I want to work with everybody.
Yo,
I'm
I
willing,
hope
I'm
you
willing to
do.
work with most everybody. Then there's some other authors I'd love to work with, for
And that
sure.
was my next question. And my final question. What authors, if
Oh
you
my goodness.
you look, hey. If what authors would you in your wish list? Give me 3. But they
You
gotta
want
be different genres.
3 in different genres? Okay, let's go with we'll go with Joan Vassar. I love the
Mm.
one. Um,
I have never heard anybody say that.
I
I
love
never
the.
knew people knew about her.
Yes, I know about Joan. Absolutely. Um, I'd love to work with E. Bowser.
E, you in here? You hear him?
I'd love to work with her, and I'd love to work with Asher Vaughn. I'd love to work with her. So I think I covered at least 3 genres there. I'm pretty sure I did.
No, because
No, one more. I got one more. I'm sorry.
okay.
I got one more. J.R. Mason. She is super dope to me. Like, yo, she is super dope to me. The work she did with Stolen Pieces. is nothing short of amazing, in my opinion, on the author tip and the narration tip. And I know she doesn't want to narrate no more, but I'd love to work with her in that capacity too. So, yeah, definitely.
Okay, okay.
Definitely.
Well, I have taken note. E.
But
I'm
there's a
glad.
lot. There's a lot of super dope authors out there that I really would love to work with. Like that's not the entire list.
Yeah.
You asked me for a short list with different genres and
Okay, give me three more.
two more,
Three. Three
three
more.
more. All right.
Because you never know who's in here or who knows who.
Tay Monet, Masterpiece, and M. Monique. How about that?
Hey, Shannon. He said masterpiece.
How about that? So those are all authors. And I see what's going on out there. I'm not in a little hole, you know. Got the plug that's always next to me too. So
You right. You right. You
I
got
know
the
what's going
biggest
on in the
plug.
industry, and I know what and I like what I like too. So I think that's a great mix of authors, and I think they all bring their own unique style.
J. Neal said she wish you could be a Gideon brother.
Hell yeah, I could be. Which one you want? Yeah, I can do a white dude. I worked with him for a whole lot of years. I can be white. Yeah, I do know about the Gideon brothers, by the way.
My favorite.
So I got the plug. I got the plug, man. I know about a lot of stuff. Man. I don't.
Jag.
typically
He
listen to a
sure
lot
can
of
be.
different-
You sure can be Jag. You sure the fuck. You do give Jag vibes. You sure the fuck can be Jag.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool.
Just saying. But anywho,
anyway, let's get it done.
I appreciate you, and I want you to go ahead and plug your wife's event like right now.
Okay, so A. Lewis puts on this event. I think this is the third annual BRAE event, Black Readers Appreciation Event. That's what it stands for, the acronym. And basically, what it is the community giving back to all the readers. So there's 4 or 5 days, I think, 5 days where the authors who signed up put up their books for free. Whatever books they wanted to put up, they put them up for free. So you got 5 days to download any book you want, and it's over 300 authors right now, and hundreds of books that have been submitted, and you guys get to download this for free. And this is just something that she wanted to do to get the community involved, to give back to all the people that support us. And it's been very successful. It's grown. It's grown phenomenally the past 3 years. So, like I say, we're up to over 300 authors and hundreds of books. If you can't find something to read in this shit, I see a lot of videos come across. People are in reading slumps. They can't find stuff to read. This is the event you want to be in. Right? Hey.
I just want to say this.
I just see it, yo.
I just want to say this. If your ass is in a reading slump, it's because your ass don't diversify your fucking Kindle, your reading shit. You always reading in the same motherfucking genre. You don't step out of your comfort zone, and you only stick with your favorites. Step out your comfort zone, and there's more authors that write in more genres.
There are hundreds of us out there, of authors. I shouldn't say us. There's hundreds of narrators too. But we're talking about BRAE right now. There's hundreds and hundreds of authors, thousands of them out there in different genres. You can find something to read if you open yourself up and diversify your portfolio.
Absolutely.
And I'd say that to authors too, honestly. Like, I think sometimes authors need to open up and diversify with who they want to work with and that kind of shit. Different genres to write in. Like, we all need to be more fluid. I say this so much. I say it all the time.
Y'all cannot. I mean, you can if you want to. That's your business. But I'm gonna tell you right now that you're gonna keep getting the reading slumps because y'all scared to go to interracial romance because y'all like, oh my god, it's a white man, bitch, please. And then y'all don't want to do paranormal except for Halloween, but be missing out on some amazing paranormal authors. Y'all don't want to do sci-fi because y'all be like, oh my god, it's so but you're missing out on some incredible urban sci-fi authors. And I say urban, and I know people have a problem with that, but I say urban because they speaking to you when they write that sci-fi. It's to you, the person who is melanated. So same with contemporary romance, urban fiction, street lit. Y'all give street lit a bad name because y'all be like, that's too hood. Knowing goddamn well Ray Ray is right in the bed next to you who ain't got no job. Okay? You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised in these indie streets.
They live in Beverly Hills or what?
Huh?
They live in Beverly Hills or what?
Clearly the glass house. Because, glass houses and all. But y'all got to diversify your Kindles, y'all reading, your audiobooks. You have to diversify them. That's your reading slump because you stay in the same. You waiting on your favorite author to drop their book, but you're not going outside of that genre to find a different author or a new author.
That's real talk.
That's the problem. A reading slump. When I hear y'all say that, the side eye is stronger in this one. I'm just saying. It's strong in this one.
Oh.
Because you have to diversify your reading. So you have A.A. Lewis coming with all the genres. Hell, if you like Christian romance, it's going to be there.
That shit going to be there.
So if you go in this and say, I can't find nothing, but then your ass go to a white stuff your Kindle, I'm going to know something. And say, I found a whole bunch of new authors, I'm going to know something. Because the same shit those white authors are writing, these black authors are writing.
Let me add one more thing though. When you download these books, do your best to try to actually read them. Turn the pages. Leave reviews. Like the authors need this shit. Like that's how they get into different algorithms, and that's where the support really is. It's not just in purchasing the book. Right? That's just a small piece of support.
Exactly.
The largest piece of the support is when you actually go to leave a review.
That.
You know what I mean? When you actually turn these pages. Like, that's the biggest difference right now, I think, between if you're talking us and what the fuck I want to say?
Them.
Okay, let's say that. We know who we're saying, right? They gonna go out and leave reviews.
100,000.
They turn them pages, right? And that's why they always at the top of shit. It ain't because their shit is the best. No, it's because their supporters are actually supporting them in the way that the algorithm wants them to.
Oh, and you forgot something. And some of y'all are actually writing reviews for their asses and not writing reviews for the ones that look like you.
Well, I don't know that. I ain't going there.
I'm going there.
I won't doubt it. I'm
going there as a reviewer. I have seen so much, and I have seen a lot on Booktalk and Black Booktalk. As short time I've been on here, my whole thing has always been to uplift indie authors. There is a reason why I do that shit besides my personal reasons, but the reasons that I do it is due to the fact that if we ain't doing it, who gonna do it? Who gonna do it? Because those white readers,
they're not gonna do it.
They're not gonna do it the way they do it for their own. And not to knock a white reader, because I've seen a lot of them come over to the black side. I have. But at the same time, if we don't do it, who gonna do it?
I've seen where there's diversity.
Yes.
There is.
Yes.
But the fact of the matter is, majority of the people who are buying these books look like us.
Yes.
That's the fact. And if everybody left a review, it uplifts the entire community. That's the point we're trying to make here. So Don't just download the book and say, "Oh, I got a free book. Thank you, great me." No, just take the time to actually read the book,
Yes.
whether you like it or not. Leave a review, right? Leave a review. That counts too, right? It counts both ways.
Yeah.
You know,
And if you
just
don't want to
take the
write a
30 seconds to 2 minutes to just do it.
if you don't want to write a review, do an internet video. You don't even have to show your fucking face. You can put the book right in front of the screen and you talk. But that will get traction for that author, will get them book sales, and it will help them. You don't have to be a big platform and you don't have to be a small platform. It equally helps an author.
A lot of different ways to support, y'all. We got to start taking control of our shit and driving it where we want it to go.
Because we are the biggest consumers. We run this economy. We just don't.
It's about taking control of our own shit and driving it where we want it to be.
In fact.
Y'all motherfuckers will get out there all day long and talk about, you know, I'm going to date myself. Now, I ain't even going to say no, what the fuck I want to say. What's hot nowadays as far as gear, right? Balenciaga and all this other shit, right? I don't know what niggas is wearing these days, right? Like, we'll get out there in a minute and promote that shit in a heartbeat after we spent hundreds of dollars to do it. You talking about a few dollars you spent on a book, and you ain't got to spend nothing more than that just to say something about it. Like, that's what the fuck we really talking about. And like, look at the difference there. So let's start promoting our own shit.
And then I'm also gonna put this caveat in it. Support indie authors like you support traditional authors. Support indie authors like you wait in line at Barnes and Nobles to get your book signed. Go to these indie events and get your book signed.
Go to these motherfuckers. You would have so much fun there. You would not believe how much fun you can have at some of these indie events. They are a lot of fun, yo. And that's coming from me, man. I ain't a bookman. Like, I got into this because like I was just carrying books. I was that nigga. That's all I did for a living. I just carried the books and set shit up. But if you allow yourself to get involved with it, man, it's a lot of fun, man. Everybody's having a good time.
It is. It's a community.
It's so much fun.
It's a community, and as they said,
and they're everywhere.
Exactly.
Search for them. Go support.
Yeah.
Even if you end up buying nothing, just you being there is support. Go talk to them.
It's literally a website for us.
You may be surprised there.
It's literally a website for us. It's called Book Me There by Jaleesa Reeds. She made a website where it has every indie fucking event lined up month by fucking month.
That's what's up.
So you don't have to even search for it. You just go to the website and it's there.
And I'll be at some of them. Facts.
Next question. Final question. Shit. We just got in more shit. Where you gonna be at? What events you gonna be at? Where can we find your audiobooks?
In December, I'll be at the Black Romance Boozy Book Tour.
Lord Jesus, getting them mixed up. Yeah,
it's your shit.
I'm just sitting here looking like, who?
I'll be at Boozy Book Tour. There's actually several Boozy Book Tours I'm going to be at.
But yeah,
the first one, the last one for the year, for me anyway, is in December. I'll be there. I'll also be. I don't know where the fuck I'm gonna be.
Tulsa.
I'm only worried about this Tulsa. Damn it. Boozy Book Tour. You tell him where I'm gonna be then.
He's gonna be in.
Damn it, you know more than I do.
I know the ones that I know about ours. I don't know about the other ones. I'll say this. He's gonna be in Houston for the Southern Soiree at the Boozy Book Tour. He is a guest narrator, so you get to listen to some of his audio. So you have to come to the table as well. Seeing A.A. Lewis, you get to see my man's right here. He gonna be doing his thing. You hear that? You
Always.
got
I'm
the
always.
dynamic duel. You got the dynamic duel in the house. And then he's gonna be in Tulsa, in which his wife is on the literary awards as the top 3 for her book.
Oh, I didn't even know that shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck you talking about?
I don't know which one. I think it's Dom. The Dom.
Oh, the Dom?
I think so. I don't know because this is the readers' vote.
Okay.
So
It's
I
the
think
Dom.
it's the Dom.
Dom? Okay.
But she's in the top 3 for interracial.
I narrated that too. I did Brick.
What?
Yeah. I narrated it down.
I
That's a,
see. I
that's
need
all.
to listen.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything after that. I don't know what you're doing after that.
I don't know shit after that either. I just go along with it, man. I just go with the flow, bro. Look. Look. I'm
But
fluid, man. Look.
tell them where they can find your audiobooks at.
Um, you can find me on Audible. Everything's D Lewis, the narrator. I keep that shit simple. Look, I can't keep up with different names, so you can find me on Audible. Um, pretty much everything I've done or any other book hosting site. If you look up D Lewis, the narrator, you'll find my books there. Things that I've done. The latest stuff that's come out though, um, like Mo's book, you will not find that on Audible right now. That you're gonna have to go to her website for that, and that's www.moflames.com. And you can pick up One Still Ain't Enough. I highly recommend you do that. It is such a super production. Um, if you like nonfiction stuff too, I just put out a nonfiction book the day after Mo's dropped. A nonfiction book dropped called Acting on Your Dreams and Visions. And that was written by Kofi Piesi, Jonathan Polidor, and Dr. Ashley Wade. And that's on the website, same treedifferentbranch.com. And I love that shit. Let me just say that I love how authors are taking their shit back. They're not just putting it out on Audible right away.
Yeah.
Because they take so much of a big chunk of that shit. Like, earn as much as you can off that. It's our shit. So, you might have seen the trend. It is a trend right now where a lot of authors, when they drop audiobooks especially, and some of them are doing it with their normal books and ebooks, that you can only get them on their websites right now. So those 2 latest ones I've done, you can only get on those websites. And if you hit me up, I'll send you a link to them if you want them. No problem.
I gotta hear One Ain't Enough. I gotta hear it.
I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. It is super, super dope. That is one of my favorite projects, as well as one of my least favorite projects for different reasons. Like, everything that could go wrong with this project went wrong. It really did. Like, there were so many issues trying to get the audio right and just working through different issues. But when it was finally done, it was like, yo, this shit is dope. And it really is dope, man. So
how does an author get in contact with you?
how does the author get in contact with me?
If they won't work
On any of the social media platforms, go on my DM. Hit me up on my DM. I'm open to talking to everybody, man. I ain't no secret out here. D Lewis the narrator. You can hit me up on there. I got a website, dlewisthenarrator.com. Send me an email, dlewisthenarrator@gmail.com. Anybody that wants to work, let's work.
And I also want to say this.
And I will say this. So my approach to shit has been a little bit different because, again, I'm crazy. So like y'all said, I do shit a little bit differently. So it's not just there's a multitude of ways we can get there, right? So I know a lot of narrators are very expensive. right? So a lot of people shy away from audiobooks because they feel they can't afford the expense. I feel I make the shit very affordable, right? There's a multitude of ways that we can get this done. We can do it after pay, right? If you got the money, we can do it that way. Credit card, we can do it. PayPal, we can do it. However we need to do it. Installment plans, whatever. I work with everybody. I understand that everybody just ain't got shit up front to do that. So
Yeah,
I meet people where they at.
which makes sense.
I meet them where they at.
But I do want to I do want to say this. Um, he is a married man. I just want to put that out there.
What happened?
I do this with all the male narrators.
Oh, okay.
He is a married man, but this one in particular, y'all don't want that smoke from me. So, mind you, he is a married man.
Yeah, I am. Definitely.
I'm just saying.
25 years. We just celebrated 25 years last month.
So keep it cute, so I don't become a brute.
Keep that shit respectful. Y'all don't want the smoke from not just her. Trust me, y'all don't want the smoke from her. Y'all think she this professional and she's all sweet and shit like that. Y'all really no. Y'all don't know her. For real. I'm just that's just a warning. That's a warning shot. Like this nigga's crazy. So she don't play.
So I just wanted to put that out there. But I appreciate you.
Let me go both ways.
Huh?
Let me go both ways.
Yeah.
People that know us know this though. And I keep like in my mind I have to remember that the world is bigger than what we know. Right? Like the people that know us know us. Like we're at a lot of events. A lot of people know us throughout the community, right? So we never have problems. As far as I know, we've never had any
Oh,
problems.
y'all won't. Y'all never. Y'all never.
Within the community.
Y'all won't.
So I'm sure you talking to outside the community.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm keeping it 100 and keeping it stacked, but y'all good. Good.
You don't fuck around.
I'm saying y'all good. Let me do me. Let me do me. Let my psychopathic ass do me. Now,
Go on, girl.
after we get off of here, we're heading over to Facebook Live because it's a Q&A with Rowdy Gunshy Film Productions. They are indie film production that is trying to get books turned into films for web series, for independent films, maybe even festivals. So if you are interested and you are an author in the private Boozy Book Tour group, mind you, private, we will have the Q&A on replay on the other Boozy Book Tour after we are done. But for right now, it's for the private, those who are part of the Boozy Book Tour or want to be a part of the Boozy Book Tour. You got to answer those questions.
Am I part of the Boozy Book Tour?
Your wife is, ain't she?
No, I said me, nigga.
But, nigga, you can go on hers because how I'm gonna be on live with those.
Don't throw that shit out there. I'm asking about me.
You could get on there and ask the question too.
Man, I ain't asking shit now.
Oh hell no! Nah. See this the shit I be talking about. This shit I be talking about. This.
You know I love it. You know I love it.
But did you get in the group? Did you request to be in the group?
I don't know how to do that shit. What you talking about?
Oh Jesus!
I truly don't know. I don't know.
Hey, could you get him in the group, please, ma'am? So you can send an invite because it's about to start in about 5 minutes. So
But we got to get out of here then.
So, but thank you again. We're gonna talk again at the Houston because I'm gonna interview you again live. That way they can see you live. But
I'd enjoy that.
Yeah,
please do.
I appreciate it. You a real nigga, and I appreciate that shit.
Oh well, thank you, man.
So
too.
I know, right?
This why we get along. connect just fine.
But let's go over Mo. If that's why I'm finna hang